Welcome to Hot Flash Chronicles, where midlife is messy, menopause is madness, and we're sweating through it together.
We're Angie and Shelly, two caffeine-fueled, slightly inappropriate grandmas who say what everyone's thinking.
So grab a drink, crank up the AC, and let's dive in.
Shellinator.
Anginator.
Guess what? It is time for another episode of Hot Flash Chronicles. I am Angie.
I'm Shelly.
And today we are going to talk about attributes. So people have different characteristics and things that are selling points on them. And whether it's in a romantic relationship or a friendship, I think that through the decades of life, the attributes that we seek in somebody that we're going to spend any sort of time with change. And that's what we're going to discuss.
I love it.
What do you think of that?
I think it's very important, actually, because you want to make sure you're putting yourself and spending your valuable time with people who bring something to your table.
For sure. And like, I used to maybe value six-pack abs, whereas now I prefer somebody that is willing to take the garbage out.
There you
go. That's just a boiled down real simple.
And where I prefer the person with six-pack abs to take my garbage out also. Maybe I want
a full tick.
Yeah. More things off of the list. But I will say that six-pack abs have gone way down on my list.
Right.
I mean, it's not that they're not there, but there's so many other things I value more.
They're nice to look at, for sure.
They are.
We love a physique. So if we're making new friends or because we're not seeking romantic relationships anymore, but I think the things that we value in our partner or our friends have evolved. Yes. So I'm not somebody that brunches or does stuff like that. I'm not somebody that I don't do phone calls. I literally don't do phone calls ever. So I'm not the friend that's going to call. I'll throw a text. But for me, it's like, let's get together and do something. Let's go out to lunch. Let's go out to dinner, things like that. Like acts of service can change over the years. Like grabbing me a coffee is a great way to say, I love you, I care about you. And I think that in earlier years, it was much more superficial what I sought out in people. Again, whether it's romantic or friendship, I had a lot more, I don't know if it's selfishness, but like I didn't waste my time on people that I didn't think brought enough to the table to where it was equal exchange. Whereas now I feel like I will forgive that because relationships will ebb and flow.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think part of the reason it changes is because we change.
Sure.
So what we needed and what filled our bucket when we were 22 is going to be a lot different than what fills our bucket at our current age, which totally makes sense. And I think what I expected from people then was very much based on what was important in my life at that moment. And as a 20-year-old woman or a 23-year-old woman, a lot of my needs and stuff were physical, like hormonal needs. So what somebody looked like, what
kind of stamina they had, what kind of activities they could do, what kind of how they spent their like, do you want to go clubbing or now I'm like, oh my God, you made eggs for breakfast. You are the love of my life.
You brought me a cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah, coffee is our love language.
Coffee is our love language. You will hear coffee mentioned. Probably too much.
So I've noticed this. You guys all know that I watch reality shows. It's kind of my mental rest. And I have a story for in a minute. But on these dating shows, something that I've noticed is when it is a younger cast, then they tend to, the compliments that they give the person that they're seeking to date, whether it's Bachelor, Love Island, any of those kind of things, are physical. So I was watching the Australian version of The Bachelorette, which, by the way, they are much kinder.
Oh, I'm sure.
They don't do the overnight fantasy dates. It's structured a little differently, and they're they're just more gracious to each other and the other suitors.
Mm-hmm.
But what I noticed is the things that they say to the bachelorette constantly are how beautiful she is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're the woman I dreamed. You're so beautiful. Like, I could stare at you all day, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting here thinking, do you got anything more than that? Because, like,
How long is that?
like, is she noticing that all they're saying is how hot she is? Because, like, I don't want to just be known for hotness.
You're not hot forever. Like, if that's the only thing people validate in you or talk about, it's like, that's not a lasting forever and ever thing. Not that you won't always be beautiful.
Sure.
Not that you won't always, but
I'm a different beautiful than I was in my 20s.
exactly. And beauty becomes much bigger than just what you look like. But it is something we value and what attracts us to somebody when we're younger. So I think when we're younger, the things we want to get from other people are things maybe that we also want to be.
Sure.
Like maybe we value people's looks because we want to work on our looks. Or,
Right.
you know, that's something we would like to be known for. So I tend to think we throw out a lot of the things that we are aspiring to be. We're trying to attract back in.
Right. And
What?
it's interesting to sit and listen to, like, these guys are meeting this girl's dad and they're like, oh, she's such a gorgeous girl. And it's like,
Ew.
give him some more meat and veg.
Yeah.
Like, so one of the things that my mentor, Sue Bryce, taught me early on is when you're working with models, especially, to give non-physical compliments.
Yeah.
So models know they're hot,
Yeah.
right? To be like,
That's
oh my
why
God,
they're
you're so
doing their
gorgeous, you're
living.
so gorgeous. And it's okay to sprinkle in you're beautiful, but also give non-physical, like, your smile could light up this room, or you're so graceful, or you move so elegantly, or the energy that you put off is the kind that I love to be around. And the way that people react when you give them non-physical compliments is a whole different category than if you say your hair looks pretty.
Yeah.
Like, it is amazing to see their face if you say, man, your megawatt smile could light up a marquee in Vegas. I love the smile that you're giving me. Like, I just want to be around you.
Yeah.
It will, you can see it land with people. And I think that speaks to that we all want to know that we're more than just physically, because it does fade or it changes.
More than just the meat suit.
Right.
You know, there's
Meat
more, there's more about us than that. And I think as we get older, we really start to value that because we know our looks are changing. We know we won't always look like we did when we were 25. And we know that we're going to continue to age and that it just can't be just about our looks anymore. So we start valuing that in others because we want people to see our value in more than just what we look like. I will say that if you're somebody who is extremely physically beautiful, if you've been blessed with that, there's a point where you don't hear it anymore because it's all you hear. I think that people, my daughter, when she was younger, she was a very, very cute, very pretty, very beautiful little girl.
Still
She
is.
still is.
Yeah.
And when she was little, people would always say, oh, what a pretty little girl. She heard it all the time to where it just didn't even faze her. I don't even think she knew what it meant anyways, but it didn't mean anything to her. And it also wasn't reinforcing in her other things that she was good at, other things
Other attributes
that
matter.
were important about her. So I rarely told her or talked to her about what she looked like. I was constantly going out of my way to make sure she knew, oh, you're so good at organizing these kinds of things. Look how capable you are. Oh, you're so smart, you know, things like that. And then every once in a while I would throw in, and to me, you're the prettiest girl in the world. But I feel for women, especially, it's important that we hear other things that we're good at, that the only thing that's emphasized is not just what our figure is or what our face looks like or how physically attractive we are. It's good and so empowering when people let you know that all these other things that make you wonderful. And I'd really challenge you guys right now in this moment, to sit and think about like 5 things about yourself that are really excellent examples of
Non-physical.
who you are, that are non-physical, that you think are your, if you were going to market yourself like you were a box of tasty cereal, what would you use? How would you describe yourself if you couldn't say how you looked?
Well, and one thing I've noticed as a photographer, if I have clients in front of me, there is a lack of belief sometimes if I give physical compliments. If I say, oh my God, you're so beautiful, then it's like, they're like,
No,
oh,
no.
thank you. But you can see that they don't believe you. Like, oh, and when I used to photograph weddings, I have said multiple times, you are the most exquisite bride. I am at a loss for words of how beautiful you are. And I had a few of them say, oh, you probably say that to all the brides. And I'm like, well, in that moment, I meant it.
Yeah.
Like in this moment, you are just absolute perfection.
Yeah.
And if I were to stand you all next to each other, who knows who I'd pick? But you are perfection right now. But if I give a compliment like, oh my God, I could photograph you every day. You just light up in front of the camera.
Yeah.
My God, you're good at posing. Have you modeled before? And mean it. It has to be authentic. But if I say things like, can I just photograph you every day? And like everybody else can kick rocks. Is that a thing? Is that an option? Because you are incredibly easy to photograph. Yeah. Then they'll believe that. Or if you say, you're so graceful. Did you ever do dance? Mm-hmm. Or I love how witty you are. Like, you are cracking me up. I'm supposed to be the one entertaining you, and you have me in stitches. Mm-hmm. Saying things like that lands because they know that there's a grain of truth to it where they might not believe the physical.
Yep.
One of them.
And you're seeing them.
Right.
You're actually seeing them, not just what they look like. And people want to be seen.
100%.
Like, beyond what you look like, you want people to get you.
They want to be celebrated too.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be celebrated.
Everybody deserves to be celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm saying it's so important to learn to give meaningful compliments to people that are non-physical, because it will change how they react to you. If you learn how to give those authentic, truthful observations or compliments.
Your joy is contagious. Thank you for giving me that. Like, it's just such it's a thing to watch it land with someone where they'll say, that is the nicest thing somebody's ever said to me.
Yeah.
It's like, you need better friends.
Yeah.
So I have mantras for 2 of my grandsons that I see all the time. So I always tell the oldest one, I love you and I'm proud of you and I believe in you and you are my very best friend in the whole wide world. And the 3-year-old, I say, I love you and I celebrate you and I trust you and you are the love of my life. And every single day that I've seen them of their whole lives, I tell them these mantras. Yeah. Every single day. And the oldest has now started saying it back to me. Oma, I love you and I'm proud of you and I believe in you. Mm-hmm. And I've started as of late also saying, you are so easy to love. Mm-hmm. You are so easy to love. And I said that to Beth and Tyson's kids the other day. Yeah. And they just lit up like a Christmas tree. Like, that's so nice to say. Like, saying you're easy to love to a child that's giving them a gift. But here's the thing. I know that my grandkids, when they grow up, somewhere in that psyche of theirs, they're always going to know that someone loves them, someone believes in them, and someone is proud of them. Yeah. So if I'm planting those seeds for long-term growth.
And that's what we should be doing for each other, is everybody should be planting seeds.
Yeah.
Let's all pretend we're gardeners, and we're going to go into this world of all these potential flowers or vegetables or whatever you're growing in your garden. And you're going to make sure that you nurture it and that it grows to its full potential. Because we as humans have the power to make or break someone's day.
Totally.
Just a few words. And that's like when we're talking about attributes, being a person who works on your own strengths and works on consciously going out of your way to make somebody else's day better. Like, Angie, that's part of your job. Mm-hmm. Like, you're a photographer, when they come in here, you've got to put them in this mood so you can capture.
An encouragement coach.
Yeah. You're capturing the essence of who this person is on film. And I'll tell you, some people in real life, you don't really capture their essence in a single moment, but photographers do. And people who you would look at and just think, that's such a regular, normal looking person, I would never even probably see them if I was in the grocery store. I'd walk right past them. But photographers can magically capture this minute when somebody is radiating inner beauty or joy or something that just lights them from within.
And that comes from encouragement and connection. You have to build the rapport, and it has to come from authenticity. Because if you're not being authentic and you're not speaking truth, they can tell.
Yeah.
So
You know when
have to. It's a very hard skill set to develop, that coaching to be able to draw the best out of people. But once you've got it, it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
I know how to draw the best out of people. I'm highly confident that I can get a banger of a shot out of any human that's in front of my camera.
And as a person, when you're hearing authentic compliments from people, it can be uncomfortable because you might have had things happen in your life where you've gone through some experiences where maybe you just don't like getting attention. Like some people they don't want people to acknowledge them. And that's because of trauma and lived experiences that have put people in places where they don't feel safe. So when people give you authentic, real compliments, the only thing you have to do, you don't have to feel defensive. You don't have to explain it away or discredit it, because it really is someone else's feeling about you, and they have the right to feel that way. If they want to say, you're so charming, and I think you're so witty and funny, you don't have to say, well, other people think I'm stupid, or nobody else laughs at me.
That's self-deprecating as a defense mechanism.
Don't do it.
All you need to do is say thank you.
Thank you.
That's a full sentence.
That's it. Oh my gosh, thank you.
And I have, over the years of my life, been accused of being a brown noser, a butt kisser, like, somebody who just blows smoke to try to gain whatever traction.
Very favor. Yes.
And it's like, no, I just think if you have something nice to say, like if you notice something in someone that's nice, why would you not tell them?
Yeah.
Why would you hold that
It's not a
in?
secret.
If somebody, okay, here's the thing. If you know me and you think something nice about me, please tell me.
Yeah.
Because people want to hear it. If I'm sitting here going, I told her before we started recording, you are so strikingly beautiful. It stuns me almost every time I look at you.
Almost. Thank you.
Yeah, she did. And she said, well, and you said, same to you.
Yeah.
Right? And that's something I was thinking it in the moment, like, my God, she is just exquisite. I've always told you are one of the most beautiful women. You have lots of other characteristics, but you are just strikingly beautiful. And sometimes I'll just glance and be like, my God, she is just breathtaking. But if I didn't say it, aren't I withholding that good, warm, fuzzy feeling from her? And that was a physical compliment, but I also give her lots of...
I get lots and lots of non-physical.
I talk about how wise she is, like how funny she is. Like she makes me laugh more than... Well, Kyle's the funniest person I know, but you're
Kyle's is very funny.
Kyle's hilarious. That's my son.
And that's like, but as friends, like when we're talking about, these can be romantic relationships, they can be friendships, they can be familial or family relationships. It's like all of those you need to nurture.
Mm-hmm.
Those relationships, and being cheerleaders for other people.
That's an attribute that I value.
Me too.
Massively.
I love me a cheerleader. I love someone who is always rooting for everybody else and who really authentically wants them. I hate using the word authentic too much, but it's such an important...
It really matters.
It matters if people are being real when they're giving compliments. It does matter that it comes from their heart. But people who do that, I think those are the best people. I don't care how much money they have. I don't care what their stature in life is or what their job is or whatever. But if you are someone who will authentically cheerlead and promote other people, kudos.
That's
You're
right.
a good person. We need more of you.
So some of the qualities that I value in friendship are making me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Like being funny, getting my humor, because I am hilarious. If you don't get my humor, I don't have a lot of patience if I have to explain a lot of it. There was a guy, we did a poker night about a month and a half ago, and my friend and I we were joking this banter thing, and this one guy at the table just didn't get it, and it was like 15 minutes. I was like, can we just pretend like I never said the joke? Because this is
Too much.
This is painful. And he was like, it's not funny. I'm like, dude, you just don't get it. Like,
Yeah, and it's
please
okay.
stop speaking now and just play the cards. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I was so frustrated that he didn't get, it was funny as fuck. And I'm like, how are you not tracking what we're talking about? So getting my sense of humor, making me laugh, holding space for me, letting me hold space for you. Yeah, thinking of fun ideas. I love banter. I love conversation.
And you know what? When you were 20, because we're talking about this through the decades,
Yeah.
these develop over time. Like every once in a while, you'll have a life experience where all of a sudden it becomes crystal clear that something is important to you. Like, oh my God, it is important for me that people are there to hold space for me.
Mhm.
That might not have even been a phrase you knew when you were 25 years old.
I just learned it recently.
Yeah, holding space for someone, listening. Like, I appreciate someone who just listens to me, doesn't interrupt, lets me explode out whatever I need to say, and then takes a moment afterwards and digests it and then comes back with some answers. But people who listen, I wouldn't have thought that was important when I was 25. I sure think it's important now. And every big life event that you have, all of a sudden, more of these attributes come to the surface of, oh, it's important to me that people reach out when they're struggling. I need to know because maybe I'm not good at picking that up. Like, I need people to tell me sometimes that they're not in a good place, because if they're at face value feeding me stuff, sometimes I believe them. And I don't know that they're in danger or that they're really struggling. So I appreciate people who feel safe enough to be honest with me and say, I am struggling and I need you.
Totally.
Because,
And it's okay to say that.
yeah, for sure. So just recognize that you can be 25 and understand, you can be very enlightened. There are a lot of people, I think my kids are way ahead of the curve of where I was at their ages. Like, I hope that's because of the parenting. Maybe I contributed to that.
I'm sure you did.
But my kids seem to be ahead of the game, and their attributes have developed more fully earlier on. I feel like a lot of mine came in my 30s. It was when I probably hit a lot more of them, was when I was making big decisions in my life, when my mother passed away when I was 30 years old. So that put a whole new plate of issues on my table that I had to get through.
And a lot of mental bandwidth to process that too.
Absolutely. So all of a sudden what people looked like and very surface level things that used to be what I needed, I didn't need that at all anymore. I needed depth, and I needed more understanding, and people who had a broader kind of toolbox full of stuff. And that's where I'm at now at 60, is the attributes, the physical stuff. I barely notice it. I still appreciate it. It's great. Like, of course you notice when somebody's attractive.
Sure.
Of course you do. But I also think, what else are you bringing to the table?
Right.
Nice you have those sparkly blue eyes, but what else are you bringing?
What else you got? Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
expect more.
in my 20s, I had obviously different characteristics that I sought out in friends or partners. I loved anybody that would go dancing with me, or like that was fun to like go party with or go hang out with. Like if we could have kid play dates, that was fun. And I felt like at that point that I had people in my life for different reasons. So like my friend Jade, who I'm still friends with, I met her when I was very early 20s, and she was a bartender at the bar that I frequented. And she was so fun because she still, at 50, has this childlike wonderment about life where she is just wide-eyed and innocent in a way that it's like she doesn't carry darkness. And if you just want to like giggle and jump in puddles with somebody and pretend like you're 5, Jade is that friend, and she still is that friend. And then you have the friend that you have the real deep conversations with, where it's like we're getting really deep into things and we're talking about philosophy and things like that. And Brandy was a lot of that for me in my 20s. Like she and I would have really intense philosophy conversations. And I had different people in different categories, but as I've aged, I've realized that one person can encompass all of the things that I don't, not that I don't want to have a lot of friends, but I don't need to have 60 friends to each foot a different bill. because first of all, I don't need that much out of people anymore, but it's like the deep and wide, like the deeper things instead of the surface.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good way to put it too. For me, the quality of my friends is much more important to me because I don't have the bandwidth and the actual time to put into relationships what you need to, because they're a lot of work. You're tending that garden. You're a gardener. So I can only have a few plants at one time. So for me, the more my quality and what I expect from my close friends is a lot, because I want to spend the time with them, but I want them to be bringing all their stuff to the table, and I want to be putting my stuff out on the table. And there's only so many people that I can share that with. So that has become way more important to me. Like in the past, I might completely be friends with somebody just because they'd go out dancing with me, and that was it, and that's all there was. And now it's like, oh, it's gotta be more than
Like, how late do we have to stay out?
Yeah.
Is there parking?
Yeah.
Where's the parking? What's the parking
Are
situation?
the chairs gonna be too high in this bar? Because
How loud is it going to be? Do I need to turn my hearing aids down?
Yeah. I don't want to.
Because if there's a lot of noise, like
Is there a happy hour? Can we?
do they have appetizers for half price during happy? Like just the things that we consider if we're going out are
It is. It's so much.
it's like, oh wait, how many people are going to be there?
Yeah. Is this gonna go
Crowded
late?
is this place? Will we have seating?
Yeah.
Is it standing? Oh no.
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 No. I will
Hard
not
pass.
wait more than 20 minings for anything. For anything.
No, do I have to wait in line to get a drink?
No.
Are you kidding? There's no waitress? No. Hard pass.
So, like, it's important to know that.
I'd rather go to a winery and sit in the sun with a friend, where they casually bring by a charcuterie, than go to a club where you're
Which is what we'll be doing in July.
We're doing that in July. I'm so excited for
gonna be
our
fun.
birthday trip.
But,
So attributes and partners. Let's talk about that as well.
yeah. So much of what we mentioned, like when I was younger, you didn't have to hit a whole bunch of, were you cute? And were you cute and did you make me laugh? Were probably the two biggest ones. And there wasn't maybe a lot of that. Are you kind? Are you kind to animals? Like
Kindness is my number one tick.
Kind is so important now. And it was like maybe number 3 or 4. And now I'm like, kind is probably 1 or 2. But it was a very limited list. It was kind of very basic, like just the things you expect of a decent human. And now that I'm older, it's got so many more edges to it. It's like, are you a quality person? Do you care about other people?
Are you respectful?
Are you respectful? What are your values? What do you think of the world and what's happening in the world? What's your worldview? What are the things you like to do for fun? What are your hobbies?
Do you have a hobby? Because it matters.
Yeah, I like people who
I love.
are you independent? Are you clingy?
My husband plays hockey on 3 teams, and that means that he's gone usually 3 nights a week. But I love that he has that because we each have our things that light us up hobby wise, and we can support each other in that. But I don't need to be like right up in his business all day, every day. It's okay to have those little breaks. We're both pretty independent people, but we really appreciate our time together. So he's on hockey break right now. Twice a year, they have like a week or 2 where it's between seasons. And it feels strange because he's just been home for a week and a half every night. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know what to do with all this time. I was like, let's work on the garden.
Yeah.
I heard I saw a thing on Instagram the other day that said, hey, all you people that used to drink Boone's Strawberry Hill while rocking out to Gangster's Paradise, how's your garden coming along?
Yeah. So
I was like, yeah, I've been gardening.
And I embrace it.
I've been gardening a ton. Wait till you see. My garden is slapping right now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm like totally okay with embracing this stage of my life. And the qualities that I want in a person are that they're chill, that they like to just take relaxation days, that we can just go for a hike. It does become a lot less focused on, let's go do this. I don't want to be bored. Let's go party. Let's go.
No, I'd rather just hang out in a hotel room with you and get Uber Eats and laugh our faces off and be in edibles.
That sounds super fun.
Than go on a tourism
Jaunt.
No, I'm just like, let's
something
just hang out. Like, instead of going to a movie, let's do where we can actually see each other's faces and speak. Because
I'd
that's
say-
what I value is that time.
The attributes now are, when I think about time with somebody, is like, how much energy am I going to have to put out to keep up with / hang out with this person? Because hanging out for a day with somebody chill, where we just let things evolve and kind of unpack it and be like,
It isn't
this.
persnickety.
Let's do this. That's so much more important to me is, can we hang out for a day and chill? Like, that means a lot to me, because being chill and being relaxed and being in a safe place in the current world that we're in is super important to me right now.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
I want that. So I think that none of these are wrong. Like, it's not wrong to like,
If you're still into physical now, that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
there is no right or wrong answer.
Revisiting that.
It
Like,
just evolves.
any stage you're at is completely fine, but you always are evolving. Like, and you'll keep adding things in, and the kind of person that you like and admire will continue to evolve, because you're becoming a more likable and more admirable person. So it makes sense that you'd level up what you expect in others when you level up yourself.
I have to tell you a funny story that happened this morning. So, Jeff woke up and I was already up, and I was like laying in bed scrolling Instagram, and I saw there's a new trend where it's like a couples trend where you go into a store and you buy each other their favorite snack, favorite drink, something they need, something they want, and something to do together. Right. And I was like, oh, that's fun. Like, and then you just like meet in the parking lot, like, here's what I chose for you. And I was like, babe, there's this new couples trend on Instagram that I want to do. And he looks at me, I don't do Instagram. And I was like, okay, listen, first of all, good morning. I should have led with
Morning,
that.
babe.
Second of all, you don't need to do Instagram because I do. I just thought this was fun. I said, can I explain to you what it is? And he was like, yeah. I told him, he goes, oh, that does sound fun. And I was like, I don't do Instagram.
Okay, that's the ring. But he was open.
He was open. So we're going to do the couples trend,
So,
much to his chagrin. I was
So
like, I
this-
wish I had that on video. I
yeah,
don't do Instagram.
I don't do Instagram.
I mean, he wasn't that scowly about it,
Well,
but it was very much like, oh, I don't do Instagram. I was like, no, it's a trend.
we're not gonna
Listen.
necessarily film it and put it on Instagram. I just want to.
He had been awake for all of 14 seconds,
That's
though,
true.
to be fair.
You hit it.
So we want to know, what are your attributes that you value now, used to value? Like, what are some things that we didn't touch on?
Now,
Maybe
what-
you're like,
What changed?
Yeah.
What did you used to like, and what do you like now?
yeah,
We'd love to hear. We'd
we
love
would
the
love to hear
feedback.
that. So let's do some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
I'm going to start.
Okay.
How long, oh boy, is the perfect piece of spaghetti?
Oh my
Sorry, I don't know why that came out.
Well, I think about this long, because I like to spool it a
People
little
are
bit.
just listening. How long is that? 8 inches?
It is about, yeah, sorry people who are listening. It's about 8 inches, and I hope if you just tuned in, you'd have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
What I'm
So you
saying,
can twirl it on a
8 inches.
fork. It's not so short that it won't fit on a fork, but
Yeah,
it's not so
I like it chopped up. I like it so you can get a couple of
Yeah.
swirls, and
Okay.
I think that's the right amount. Okay, so Angie,
Belly.
if you could only wear one pair of shoes for the rest of your life, what kind of shoes would they be?
Sandals.
Oh, right on. Not sneakers, not.
So since my car accident, I can't reach my feet because of how my hips bend. So I can't do anything that's laced. That's why I don't wear socks, because I can't get to my feet anymore. Just because of how my hips, they don't bend like normal
Yeah.
hips do anymore.
Yeah.
Sandals are easy to put on, and my feet get too hot sometimes. So sandals are a nice,
Get some
even if it's
natural
cold,
character.
I'll still wear some
Sandals.
sandals. I'm wearing sandals now.
Love it.
Okay, Shelly.
Mhm.
If you discovered in your genealogy somehow that you were actually adopted
Mhm.
and were born in a totally different country,
Mhm.
which country do you think it would be that wouldn't surprise you?
Ireland.
Oh.
I'm positive it's Ireland. I'm positive. Ireland, you out there? I'm sure. I'm talking very directly into that.
It's funny because when we do the rapid fire, you lean in like I'm interrogating you on the stand, like
You
in
are.
in a.
You totally are.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to do it. Now I want to do a transportation one,
Okay.
or being transported. In this exact moment right now, you grab your camera and you can be transported to any place on this earth. Where would you go and what would you take pictures of?
I feel like people can guess what I'm going to say. Let's go with something different than what would be expected, which is Jason Momoa. It's going to sound like it's an unhealthy obsession with him.
Well, it might be.
He does occupy a lot of my mental bandwidth. If I could go photograph anything right now, I think I would want it to be a person because I love photographing people. And I'm not going to say Jason Momoa. Do you know who I would love to photograph is Michelle Obama.
Oh.
I feel like she would be incredible in front of the camera.
Oh, I think so too.
Oh, I feel like she
Talk
would
about
be
energy and
fire
positivity
in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Because she gives really good eyes.
Yeah.
Like she gives really good looks. I feel like I could draw that.
Oh, I love that
I
answer.
would love to photograph Michelle Obama.
Michelle, if you're out there, you want a photographer, she's right here.
I'm your girl.
And she'll do it for free.
With that,
Time for
it has
another
been
ending.
a great podcast
Wonderful.
once again. Thank you so much for listening. It means the world that you choose to spend your time with us. If you like what you're hearing, we would be honored if you give us a 5-star review wherever you're listening. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscribe.
Socials.
And we will see you next time.
Well,
ciao. Bye.
That's a wrap on this episode. If you laughed, related, or just need more, hit subscribe.
Check out the show notes to find us on socials and YouTube and join our Patreon for exclusive extras.
And remember,
We're still hot,
Just in flashes.